right? So just go to Google, type apply for surrender of Indian passport, and you click on it, and the first thing that comes on your search is apply for surrender of Indian passport VFS Global website. Click on that, and then you'll direct it to a page where basically says you can surrender of Indian passport, apply only to applicants for Indian origin and all that stuff. And underneath you'll be having apply by mail or post, and there is a step-by-step guide with very clear instructions here. And the major thing is 3 steps, right? Step 1 is to complete the government online form, and you can do it by yourself like I mentioned. Step 2 is basically to know what documents that you need to have in order to prepare this packet and then send it to your nearest VFS, right? So you just need to know what documents you need to be sending. There is a checklist. We'll get to that in a minute. And step 3 is basically you just have to click here. It will direct you to a page where you can pay the fees online and choose your courier, whether you want to do your own courier or you want to choose the VFS courier. And I think they have a default courier that they use. It could be FedEx, it could be USPS, right? So that's the 3rd step. And underneath you'll be seeing 7 centers of VFS, right? Whichever is the closest one is where you're going to send your documents, right? So let's just go straight into the step 1, complete the government online form. And again, it involves multiple steps, right? So let's just do it. So you click there, it will take you to another page, which is basically embassy.passportindia.gov.in, right? In here, you'll be having all the regions, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I think anywhere you do it from, any continent or any country, the process could be similar. So check with your local VFS if you could possible. But for Americas, you click on America and choose your country in America's continent, right? So USA. And when you click on your country, it will take you to another page again, where you'll be, the page looks like this. On your right hand side, you have 4 options on this page: register, track status, user login, embassy, and consulate connect. Now, since you're coming to this area the first time, you need to register for the passport services. So click there, it will pop up a new page where you have to give some of your details because you're doing a registration for this particular passport services, right? So choose your consulate nearby. So I live in San Francisco, so I'm gonna choose San Francisco. USA, San Francisco. And give your name, Santosh K. Oh, that's a surname. So give your surname. I'm just giving random name here, but okay. So give a name, Santosh, surname, and choose your date of birth. I'm choosing February 1st, 1991, and give your email address. And remember, when you give your email address, it's good for us to remember if you choose your email ID as a login for this particular registration that we're doing, right? So click yes, then automatically it'll pop up. Your email ID is your login ID, right? And then create a password. Confirm the password. Okay, choose a hint question, favorite city or birth city or favorite color, whatever. Okay, and enter the characters. Okay, so just double check your details. Remember your email address and your login ID is same. Remember your password, remember your hint question, and then click register. I'm not going to click register because before I started this demo video, I already tried it myself, so I'm not going to do the registration again. But when you click register, you'll receive an email to the email that you have provided here, and the email looks like this. Right, so it basically says, "Dear applicant, congratulations, you have been registered successfully on Passport Saver system." And underneath it says, "Please click the link below to activate your account." Now, since you have created this account and they want to make sure it's you and they want to make sure you activate your account, so click on this link. It will take you to the another page where they're basically asking to enter your ID to activate this registration. Now remember, your ID is your email address in this video that I'm just showing an example. So I enter my ID and click activate. So once you click activate, that's it, your registration is successful, right? And after that, you can go back to home page on the same page, on the same website where you have registered, right? Now the registration is done. Now, since your registration is activated, so go to user login and click here. Now enter your email or the login ID. And the password. Characters. That's it, give you a login ID and then login. And once you click login, it'll take 10 to 20 seconds to authenticate. And this is your page now. This is your login, right? So in order for that to confirm, if you look here at the welcome area, you will find your email address in a second. There you go. So welcome, that's your email. Now in this page, ignore this for a second. Like I said earlier, before I started this video, I did demo myself to make this video, right? So ignore this for a second. For you as a new registered person, this will be empty. So just focus on these things, and out of these things, your goal is to apply for surrender of Indian passport. So click there. All right, so once you click there, it'll bring you to another page where you have 7 steps to complete, right? The first page is basically passport details. And remember, on the first page, first step, passport details, you have to enter your Indian passport number, okay? And Indian passport date of issue. Just check your passport, you'll find those details. Date of expiry. Place of issue, you'll be finding that in your Indian passport. Now, that's the top part, right? The bottom one is surrender details. So choose your applicant's nationality, which is USA. Next, foreign nationality acquisition date. This is basically, you'll be getting your, what do you call that, naturalization certificate, right? Where it shows your citizenship date. The day you received your naturalization certificate is the day you have acquired the nationality. So choose that date and give your US passport number here. Okay. All right, fill these details, then you click next. Next step is applicant details. Give your first name, last name, gender, male, female, transgender, whatever that applies to you, date of birth, place of birth, village, town, city. I'm pretty sure it will display on your Indian passport. Is your place of birth out of India? Out of India, no. So place of birth and choose that state. Give it a second. So choose your details, right? And then marital status, widowed, divorced, married, whatever that applies to you guys. Education qualification, distinguished marking, so something like this. Right, so that's the second step, and then click next. Third step is to fill your family details. Father's name. I'm just using random names here. So father's name, mother's name. On the previous step, I clicked married, so that's why they're asking my spouse's name, right? I don't know. I give Sarah, right? Spouse's nationality, whatever that applies. I'm just gonna choose India. Where is it? Right, so that's the family details, and then click next. Is your present residential address out of India? Sorry, that means yes. So if you're living outside India, so you click yes and give your address. Oh, what's the San Francisco zip code? I don't know. Yeah, 94016, I'll choose 1. Country, USA. Okay, your email address. Mobile number. Okay, yeah, remember to give your ISD code, which is a country code here. So just put 1 in front of it if you're giving the US number, right? So that's the residential address, and then click next. Then you'll be going to 5th step, which is emergency contact. Father, mother, spouse, give whoever your emergency contact is and their address. Okay, mobile number, the emergency contact mobile number. Just give 1 at the front. All right, now click next. Okay, now on 6th step, just make sure your surrender certificate details are accurate that you are given, right? Please validate following details: your applicant's name, their passport, Indian passport number, and the reason that you're surrendering your Indian passport. Right? Mostly this would be the reason. Now click next. So this is the 7th step. That's the last step of registering this government form, right? Now please ensure you check all the details, whether they're accurate as per your passport or not, because if you make any mistake in this and you submit it, there is no way that you can edit this document. You have to redo the whole thing, the whole application, right? So ensure all the details that you're giving on this 7th step, make sure they're correct. If not, go back and then, correct them, all right? So once you're done, once you think your details are correct, click I agree and just give the place where you're filling this form and the date, then you click submit. And that's it, your registration is successful. You'll probably receive an email that, okay, your application is successful and all that. So once that is done, you go back to the home page again. When you come to the home page, it'll take a second because it's still loading. So once you come to the home page, here, yes. So here you'll find your filled application and submitted document, right? So you choose your document, and always remember, when you click submit, you'll get an ARN number. ARN number is basically the tracking of your application. So always keep this, or take a photo, take a screenshot, keep it handy. Okay, so this is the form that you have just filled. Now, once you come to the home page and you choose your document that you just filled and click print, this is the document that you just filled, right? This is a major document. Now save this because you need to print it at a later point, okay? So that is the first step out of these 3 steps that we have just finished, right? So the first step is done, you did by yourself. Now, second step is to know the supporting documents in order for us to send this package to the VFS, right? Even though it's a second step, let's just pause it there for a second and then we go to the third step first. Third step is to click here so that you can pay the fee online and you can choose your courier, whichever the courier that you want to opt, right? So click here. So after the first step, when you click here to pay this fee and choose your courier, you need to do another new registration, okay? So give your first name, last name, your email address, your mobile number, choose your password, confirm the password. All right, click terms and conditions. If you want to read them, and then click JWTZ. Okay, all right, that's it. So give your details, check the marks, and then click submit. And once you do this, you'll probably receive another email saying that, hey, your new user registration is successful. Now you can go back to login since you have just finished the registration, right? So you'll go back to login so that you can pay the fee, the renunciation fee, and choose your courier. Now, since you're registered, log in. Enter the characters. So once you log in, this is how the page gonna look like, okay? So apply for passport, consular, and on the when you get into this first page, it shows blank. So you have to create your application. Now, when you click create application, this is how it's gonna show up. There will be some auto population, so don't worry too much about it. Your visiting country says India, because you're Indian citizen as of before acquiring US, right? So your residing country is US, so these two are gonna be auto-populate and by default. Now choose the center. Like I said, there are 7 in the US, like it shows here, right? So out of 7, choose the one center that is close to you. In my case, it's San Francisco. And choose your main category. The application category is surrender of Indian passport. Then your application category is also surrender of Indian passport. Now your selection application type is postal. Remember, when we first started, we're doing this apply by mail and post. So that's our application type is postal. Now select payment method. There are multiple options. I suggest going with online payment by debit or credit card. All right, you chose everything, then click continue. And in here, like I said earlier, you'll have to remember your ARN number when you filled your step 1, right? So in this case, you have to click add customer. And give your ARN number. So let me go find my ARN number. That's my ARN number. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to enter it here, right? That's my ARN number. and give your American passport number here, right? So this is where you give your US passport number and your date of birth and your passport expiry date. You'll find it in your US passport. Just giving randomly. Okay, select the nationality, USA or United States. Choose your first name as it appears in your passport. If you have middle name, enter that. Choose your last name. Choose your gender and your father's full name as it appears in your Indian passport, because in our Indian passports we have father's and mother's name. So just type exactly what it shows in there, and double check your mobile number and your email address, and select the state where you're applying this from, right? California. All right, so you have given your details, and then you click submit. So click submit and get a notification. Are you sure you want to submit? Click OK. There you go. So once you click submit, it'll direct you to the next page, just making sure your details. Check your AR number is accurate, and if you did any mistake, just click edit and then go back and do it again. Okay. Now here you have two options. Like I said, you have to pay and you have to choose your courier, right? So there are two options. VFS offered courier service. The VFS will take care of it. And the other one is I'll use my own courier. Again, this is a suggestion. I will go with VFS offered courier service because it's plain simple rather than going through all this. Click that. Now VFS offered courier service, they have a default courier that they use is FedEx. So it comes as auto-populate. Then you click continue. Now, after you click continue, it will bring you to to payment page. Now, this is where a lot of people are getting confused. I confused by myself, right? Because some people told me that they have paid over $200 for this service, and now all you can see is under $100, right? So that's where we'll be like, oh, are we doing something wrong and all that? But you're not doing anything wrong. As of today, whatever that shows the payment in your website is what you have to pay. It's just plain simple, right? But in order for you to understand why are they charging the amount that is showing here, just click here, fee charge, then you'll get a split-wise here. The consular fee is $25 and the VFS service is $15.90. I don't know what ICWF fees is, but that's $3. So that is bringing you $43.90. So this is the fee for this, that's $43.90. And then there is additional services, which is value-added services. And if you click there, and this is the other fee. So the first one is the consular fee and all that, that's $43.90, and this is $48.99. That brings to your $90 under $100 that shows up in the corner. But if you want to reduce that to even save some money there, you just have to choose your things here. So there is an SMS option. It's basically whenever after you submit your application, you'll get a notification how your application is processing, or is it in progress, or is it pending, stuff like that, right? So if you don't want it, you uncheck that. That means you're saving $5 there, right? The round trip courier, since you already chose VFS courier, which is the FedEx, they're charging you $36 and there's nothing that we can do about it. So that's by default a checked one. Now photo service. So they're charging $7.99. I don't know how this works, but before you sending your application, you need to take your passport photos just by 2x2, just like how you applied for your US passport, right? Get 2 or 3 photos with you, and you have to mail them in this packet that you're going to send it after you fill this thing, right? So since you're taking it by yourself, you don't need to opt the photo service as well. So uncheck that. So you have saved $5 there, $8 there. So that brings to just the courier, that is $36. And click save. The $96 will become a little lesser now because you have unchecked a couple things there, right? There you go. From $96, it got back to $82.70, including the 3.50% of convenience fee, right? Now, you're good here. You gave all the details, you chose your services, whatever you want, then you click continue. All right, now once you click continue, please note courier address of the customer should match with the address proof that you're submitting. So when you're submitting or when you're jotting down all your documents to send it to the nearest VFS, you'll be also sending a proof of your address, right? So the proof of address that you're sending and the address that you're giving in this page should match. So make sure of that. Just give your street address. If there is any apartment, give the apartment number and the zip code 94016. Where is it? 94016. City, Daly City, that's close to San Francisco. And the state is California. That thing auto-populated as soon as you give zip code. Now this address is important because once you give it here, you have to click validate and the system's going to validate if the address is accurate. So click there. Either your address was not validated successfully by FedEx. Okay, so 1 second. So let's see. Let's type Daly City postal code. Mm, 94014. They probably don't have. I was just randomly using the address, right? So, okay, let's say 12 Powell Street. Let's validate now. There you go. So address entered is validated successfully. This is why if you accidentally enter the wrong address, so it's gonna give you an error pop-up just like it came up a minute ago, right? But if your address is accurate, this is how it's gonna get. Address entered is validated successfully. Please click submit. Now click submit. No. Are you sure you want to submit? Yes. Perfect. Now this is your fee that we saw that earlier, and check your ARN number one more time, and make sure the mailing address is accurate, and then you click I accept on terms and conditions, and then confirm application. Now it will take you to a payment page which says ADN payment page. Now use your credit card or debit card, whatever that works. I tried with Amex, American Express, it didn't take. So just give Visa or MasterCard, something like that, and then you make the payment. Now, once you make the payment, you'll receive an email about that so you have paid, your payment went successfully and all that. Now that's step 2. So if you look at the screen here, first we have completed the government online form, and then we have paid the fees and we chose our carrier, and then we're good there. Now what you need to do is jot down all your documents, right? So let's see what documents you need to send to the VFS, right? So when you click there, it'll take you to a page overview of the process, basically the guidelines of it, and the surrender of Indian passport, fees and documents, which we already know. But now what we need to know is the documents checklist. Now I'm taking this as an example for adult document checklist, people who have their Indian passport in hand. Click there. Now first thing of jotting the documents here, remember you need to print this page. This page has this has 4 pages, right? And you need to print this form as well to send to VFS. Now before you print this, give the applicant's name, passport number, the US passport number, and the email address and the phone number. There are 4 pages in here. Print everywhere, right? Now let's see the documents. First document, is government application online form. We have filled this and we have saved it somewhere, right? So make sure you print that. And after you print that, you need to attach your photo on your government application form. And I believe there will be 2 signatures that you should be doing on that form. So print it, paste your photo, and sign your signature, right? That's on your application 1, the major application. And in here it also shows, like, like I said, 2 photographs. So get those 2 photographs and 2 duly filled and signed surrender of Indian passport certificate. Now, I got confused about this particular thing earlier, but I will show you that as well, right? Let's put that particular Indian certificate, surrender certificate, aside a minute. Let's check the other documents. Now, proof of address, like I said, make sure all your address or the copy that you're going to provide, the proof of address copy and the mailing address that you have given in the application, make sure they're like, they both are same, right? Next, a photocopy of US passport. Remember, it's a photocopy. You don't have to send the original, just a photocopy of your US passport, right? And if there is any name change document that you have when you have become a US citizen, right? Submit the name change document as well. And your most recent Indian passport. Now, this is the original one. We just have to send our passport, not the copy. The copy is only for US passport, okay? And with the original Indian passport, you also have to photocopy of the first 3 pages of your passport and also the last 2 pages of your passport. So just get those Xerox or, just copy them and then put it with your Indian passport, right? And the other one is your naturalization certificate again. For this, you don't have to send the original, just the copy of your naturalization certificate, okay? Now, with all these documents, I'm just gonna recap one more time, right? So your original application form that you filled with the 2 photos and signed the application form, okay? Next is your proof of address, your driver's license or utility bill, whatever that matches the address that you gave in the application. Next is a photocopy of your US passport. Next, if there is any name change documents, just a copy of that. Next, your original Indian passport and the first 3 pages, the first 3 pages Xerox or copy, and the last 2 pages Xerox or copy of your Indian passport, right? And your naturalization certificate copy. Now, apart from these, what you need to do is, if you go back up a little here, it says 2 duly filled and signed surrender of Indian passport certificate. This, go back to the main page where it says, click here to know your supporting documents, click there, and over there, just go underneath, and here you'll find the mandatory additional documents. Now read whether if it applies to you or not, right? So the first mandatory is declaration of surrender of Indian passport for postal customers to be filled online on VFS portal by applicant who are not in possession of Indian passport. If you don't have your Indian passport handy for whatever reason, then you have to fill this document that is mandatory. So in this case, the example that I'm doing, we have our Indian passport in hand, so you don't have to worry about the first one. Now the number 2 is original surrender of Indian passport certificate for postal customers to be filled online on VFS portal by customers who are in possession of Indian passport. So this is a mandatory for people who have their Indian passport in hand, and you have to click here. This is what I mean, surrender of Indian passport certificate, right? So if you go back and look here, it says 2 duly filled signed, right? It says 2 copies. When you come here, like I mentioned, you have to fill this document twice, right? Give your AR number and, go through all these details. Just simply, it's just your name, where were you born, and when did you acquire your foreign nationality and all that, your father's name, date of birth, stuff like that. And if you have, any minor children that you're applying, right? So enter their details and, basically just saying all the details are accurate and correct, and then click it. And what is this? yeah, full name of the applicant, phone number, your address in the USA, your date, and then print this form. Make sure you have 2 copies and you sign them, right? So with all other documents that I mentioned earlier, you also need to submit these documents. These, just have to have 2 copies of these. So after you finish paying, just go back there, and then there that says download courier label. You just have to download the courier label. Once you go to the FedEx, there just pick an envelope where your documents will fit, and then when you print your courier label, just put it on top of it and then send it to your nearest VFS. So that's basically it. Like I said, it kind of feels a little tricky to finish this process, but I tried my best explaining here. And if you have any questions, please drop it in the comment. I'll try to answer as much as possible. But yeah, just keep your ARN number handy, and then you can always keep a track of it. All right, so that's all for this video. If you think it helped you guys, just like the video, subscribe, and you comment, whatever, right? Thanks for your time.